want to make sure that everyone can see me and can also hear me. So if you can please let me know in the chat box, that would be awesome. Perfect. I can hear. Awesome. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, everyone. Okay, perfect. So what I'll also let you know is that if by any chance that you can't hear me or you can't see me or something happens during the webinar, just refresh your page. If that doesn't work, exit the link and then just go back into it. Okay, that should be okay. Hopefully we have no interruptions today or no hacking. I've had that happen. Yes, is that, sorry, let me see if I can make the my text here bigger so I can see. Okay, so this is Caroline, right? You're going to be interpreting for your students, right? For your ASL students? Just to make sure. I wish I could make my writing bigger in the chat box. As big as it goes. I think I might be needing glasses. But I believe Julia is here. Okay, so they're on here and they will be interpreting what I'll be saying, correct? So hi, sorry if I get the names wrong, Shelly from Alberta, because I can't see, it's so small, the writing, sorry. Hello, and welcome. So yes, perfect, Carolyn, that's good that you have your interpreters in today for your ASL students. That's awesome. I'll do my best to, I know we have about an hour and a half because we have the presentation and we have the demo. So if anything that you might need me to slow down, just let me know. I know we have crunch time. This is also a recording. So if you ever feel that you need to go back to your students and explain something that they didn't get, you can replay the recording and then translate it for them as well. So we'll try to make it as accommodating as we can, as the best we can. So hello, South Renee. Is that Renee? Yes, Renee from South Florida. Oh, is there a way to make the interpreters visible? I would have to. Give me 1 second. I can only probably do just one person for this platform to, add as a presenter. So I have to find their name. Who did you want me to try first? Julia, I can't remember the names. Give me 1 second. Julia. Because it will be showing directly, unless the other thing, if it doesn't work out properly, we'd have to take this recording and then play it live for them in the classroom. But let's see, Julia. Are they on here? Julia Menzie? Yes. So let's see. So Julie, I added Julia. Would it be too confusing to have two? I feel that maybe halfway, if we have to change the presenter for the ASL students, I can change it. Or let me just see if I can find Sarah. Just give me 1 second. So maybe one at a time, and then you guys can connect with each other to switch off after. If you want to, Julia, if you want to give a break, then you can tell, what's her name? Sarah. I added Sarah as well, okay? Perfect, awesome. So you guys can communicate with each other just in case I forget to look at the screen, and just when you want to switch presenter, switch. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Okay,
Thank you very much. Thank you for doing that. We'll do the switching. Thank you.
Perfect. And thank you for having this opportunity for your students. It's great. That's awesome for you guys to do that as well. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to wait 1 more minute till 1:05, and then I'm going to introduce myself, I just want to make sure we have a big attendance today. So I just want to make sure everybody's on time before I start. So I'll give it another minute. And I hope everybody's day is going well as well. Yes. April, I'm seeing other people. Hi, April. Usually do my shout outs every morning to see how everybody's doing from different provinces of Canada, or if you're in the States, in the US, different states. Do my little shout out. Some people I remember, some names I remember. Hawaii, ooh, welcome. And then North Carolina. Sorry if I don't get the names. It's so tiny, the text box. So the names are even smaller than what you're typing. So I probably need to bring a magnifying glass. Okota, Alberta. Okotoka. I never heard that area in Alberta. Collins, Colorado, Montero Bay, Toronto. Is that Terry? Terry? Awesome. So we're getting more people coming in. So before I start also, because we are a big attendance today, and I know how much everybody likes to ask questions because with questions we learn, and we always have a lot of questions, and I always love answering them. Let's try as best as we can to keep it to maybe the demo section because I have time then to answer so that we can flow the presentation and then we can have also a period of question and answer so we have a good flow the presentation since we have interpreters as well. Okay. Texas, Arizona, Montreal. Hi, Melanie. Welcome. Bonjour, bonjour. Okay. And Vancouver Community College. Welcome. Okay, so what I'll do right now is we're going to start because it is 1:06. So I wanted to introduce myself first. Some of you might know me and some of you who don't. My name is Christy Parashos, and I am the lead trainer for North America for the brand of Reflecticil. So I do all these webinars. Pre-COVID, I was able to come into schools and teach as well as doing trade shows which I really miss that interaction with everybody and seeing everyone at trade shows. But unfortunately, due to COVID, we have to do things more online. But we are reaching a lot of people and we're still able to help all our beauty professionals with the brand Reflecticil. So I'm so happy that we have this opportunity. Claudia, welcome. Hi. I hope I said the name right. Okay, so as I mentioned, my name is Chrissy, and I also have a background in the aesthetics as well for over 10 years. So it comes in hand with if I need to educate on waxing, if we bring a brand in. So I do that as well. So let's go to this presentation. I'm going to pop up a presentation. Let me know in the chat box that you can see it. That would be awesome. It did start, Laura. Check your volume. You probably can't hear me. So check your volume and reset. So I can type this in just in case if you're not one of the ASL. Reload or check your volume. Okay. Okay, perfect. You can see it from California. You can see it from Timmins. Welcome, welcome. Everyone can see it. For the ones I have issue with the volume, check your setting. Make sure that your volume is not on mute. I've done that a couple of times where I forget to unmute my unticked little box. So check that or just re-enter again or refresh your screen. Perfect. Okay, so we have everyone that can see it. Awesome. So we're going to start, and today's webinar is on our basic tinting and custom coloring. So we have a lot of students that are watching webinars, a lot of new professionals that want to know the correct way to use Reflecticil tinting, but as well, not just the basic portion of it. We want to also be able to utilize these colors to more of a degree by custom coloring. So we, as you'll see in the presentation, we have 8 colors, and half of the time people don't know we have 8 colors, and half of the time they don't use all the colors. So by customizing the colors, you're customizing as well the service to each of your client and putting to use all those colors. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. So I'm excited, and we'll have a model as well that will show the tinting, and I will custom a color on her as well. So we know now, due to wearing masks, our brows and our eyes are the most focused on right now. Before, the eyes and the brows were the central feature of our face, but much more now, the emphasis is placed on them because of masks. So how much more important to have these little furry things groomed and to have our eyes to show, to emphasize expressions, you know, if we're smiling, if we're, how we're feeling, right? So more and more people are seeking out these services, and they weren't doing these before, but now they see the importance of making the eyes and brows stand out because of mask wearing. So you'll see a surge, you'll see an increase of your sales or your services because of more people seeking out these brow and lash styling services. Okay. So let's go to this slide here that's going to show what we're going to talk about today. So we have 4 steps that we're going to talk. The first one is consultation, and how important it is to sit down and have this consultation with your client. Don't just assume this is what they want, this is a look that they want. Involve them in your consultation and find out what is it that they're here to achieve or to walk out and look like. Okay, so the consultation is also important that it's done 48 hours ahead of the service, because you will be also doing a patch test. Very, very important that patch tests are not done the same day of the treatment, because you don't want to find out too late while they're on the bed that they've had a reaction, possibly burnt their skin because of some medication that they're taking. So a patch test is very important. And every time I teach a class or teach a trade show, the first question I ask in a room of maybe 100 or more is, who does a patch test here? And out of 100, there's usually 1 or 2. So we see this is lacking in our services, and we can't have it lacked because we deal with a lot of illnesses, people are a lot on medication, and we never know what the reaction would be. We're not doctors to know every single thing, every single medication that they're taking, how it will react, and that's why a patch test will be important. So when they come in 48 hours ahead of time, when you're doing the consultation, when you're making them fill in the consent form, you're also putting on their inner forearm or behind their ear where it's a little bit more sensitive, the patch test of the tint. You got to mix the tint and the oxidant together and put it in that area. Leave it for a couple of minutes, then wipe it off. And then in 48 hours, you would call them back and ask them, how is everything? Good? Any reactions? No? Perfect. Now you can come in for your service. So that's the proper way. And that's the excellent service. It's such a perfect, loyal service too that you're going to give to your client, because you're taking into consideration their health as well. So now we deal with COVID, we're taking into consideration their health because we want our spa and our salon and anything we use on them to be clean and disinfected. But now also we want their health, as in anything personal that they're dealing with, and they're taking any medication, we're putting them first still and taking care of their whole entire well-being. Okay. So step number 2 will be preparation. So preparation meaning the prep work. Cleaning is so important. The canvas that we're going to work with, if you're going to go paint something, you have a nice clean white canvas to work with. And that's the same thing we want to make sure with our client's skin. It's clean. There's nothing interfering in the hairs or in the lashes. If you're doing services on the lashes, that whatever service you're going to apply onto them, it's going to work full to its effectiveness. Okay, So after we've done the prepping and also the mixing, then you are, oh, sorry, I forgot to take out shape there. So don't worry about shape. We're not talking about shaping today, but we're talking about custom coloring. So in the third step, custom coloring is to learn how to start using your colors in a more fun way as well. So the trends, you want to be able to reach the whole demographic in a sense. You want to reach your teenagers, you want to reach your 30 plus that just want a natural look. You want to reach those clients that are going to go on the runway. You know, they get their makeup done and they're going to do a modeling shoot or something like that. You want to be able to reach everybody. So we have colors like purple, we have colors like cotton candy pink or rose gold or steel blue. So in order to achieve those, we're not going to have a tube for each of those colors. This is where you're going to mix those colors together with the appropriate ratios. So we'll go through some slides that show the ratios that you would need to achieve some of those different colors. As well, we'll talk about bleaching because a lot of estheticians, for example, hairstylists, they can use bleaching. Estheticians might be a little bit scared to bleach brows, but we'll show you the safest method to do it with Reflecticil and be able to even cover those gray, coarse, doubly hairs on your client's brows. And very important as well, we want to provide aftercare. So we want to be able to send them home with something that will give them care at home, but also you as a professional want to end the service with something that's going to hydrate and seal in that service, okay? Perfect. So now we're going to start with the consultation. So your client comes in, remember, 48 hours ahead of time. And this is where you're going to sit down and have a one-on-one with them and get to know your client very well. If they are a reoccurring, like a client that's been coming back for many years, perfect. You don't need to spend that much time with them, and you don't need to have them coming in 48 hours ahead of time. But every 6 months, you should be bringing out that consent form and you should be redoing a patch test. And you should be asking them as well any new medication because we do have changes in our lives and maybe an illness that we've gone through. Okay. So for that first client, you know, you want to ask them, how long has it been since your brows were formed? You know, now with brow lamination too, where we can lift the brows, you need to ask that question to see to what effect has their brows been processed. Okay. Then what bothers you about your current brows? If they're there to change something, you want to find out what don't they like that they want to change, right? And then closed questions are, have your brows ever been shaped or colored? You want to get a little history. If they weren't coming to you for years and they've been going somewhere else, get a little bit of the history of what they were doing and maybe what they were not happy with, and now they're coming to someone new. And then, are you ready for your new brow styling by Reflecticil? Excite them, right? With this new service. We teach some of what my webinars I teach, or in my one-on-one classes, I talk about the emotional benefit of this, not just the technical, which is, you know, I'm going to tint you, but what about the emotional? We're going to brighten your eyes. We're going to freshen your look. We're going to enhance your beauty because we're enhancing the beauty you already have. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. We're just enhancing that. So get them feeling that when they sit in the chair, they say, take my money, do what you want to do to me because I have trust in you, that I'm going to leave feeling very relieved. And like when you go get your hair done, we know that most of the time we deal with a lot of mental illness. And when we go get our hair done or beautify ourselves, we walk out feeling on a high level, very happy. So all these spa services, that's what they're doing to us. They're helping us to elevate us. Okay. So now we go into how to use the colors. So the eyebrow color should reflect an aspect of the hair color. And that's been for years where we try to match the brow to the hair. You will have the occasion of the type of people that don't care about matching it, that want to have a contrast look. So you're there to give your client what they desire, but also helping them to see maybe why another option could be even better in their look. Okay. Matching the skin type. Are they, you have to be able to differentiate between a cool tone or a warm tone. If a client has a warm tone, our brown colors, they're very warm as well. So if a client was coming in and just wanted brown, but their warm tone, the brown that we put up is going to look more chestnut instead of brown. So there will be more red in it. So what do we have to do to counteract that, like to take away that redness? We would have to use the graphite, which many didn't realize that the graphite can do that. So you can cool with the graphite, or you can warm any other color down with your red or your chestnut. If the hair color is very light, it's advisable to tint the brows 1 to 2 shades darker in order to frame the face, because that's our goal. We want to give a total picture, but to frame that face. Once again, if there's a client that wants to be more eccentric, we are able, with our skills, to accommodate any type of client. Okay. With black hair and sharp facial features, the eyebrows can be 1 shade lighter to let the look appear less hard or dominant. Okay, so if they already have such dark features going on, if you darken the brows too, it might look a little harsh. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We want to keep it, we want it to be enhanced. Okay, everyone's good? Perfect. Just want to make sure everybody in the comments are okay. Okay. Now we go into our colors. Let's go quickly through the type of colors we have so that you know what are these 8 colors and how to use the whole range. So pure black we have, and this is perfect for brows and for lashes. It is a more matte black, okay? And you can add, as we mentioned, you can add it to your browns if you want to cool them down. If you want to make it more darker than the graphite, you can use the black. Then we have the graphite, and they have a numbering system. So 1 is pure black, 1.1 is graphite, and we go to 2.1, 3, 3.1, and so forth. So the graphite, as you can see by the model in the picture, she's a more mature clientele that has that beautiful silvery gray hair. And when you use the graphite on its own, it matches that silvery gray hair. So you can use it on its own, or you can use it to cool down the browns, or you can use it to create that steel blue that we'll talk about further on in the custom coloring. Okay. Then we have our blue black. So 2 and then 2.1 are deep blue. Our blue black has a more, when they say brilliant color, it's more of a gloss to it. So you hit the light, you hit the sun, it's going to have a gloss and a shine to it. So this is perfect for lashes, but I've been using it a lot as well with brows. Okay, especially if somebody wants a more darker look in their brows, I tend to mix the blue black. But you can also mix the blue black and the black together to add more depth to the lashes. Okay. Then the deep blue, it's a blue color. So if you have a client that has blonde hair, like a Scandinavian client that's blonde and has also blonde lashes, when this gets put on, it's blue. It's a nice blue as well. Your blue color is your mixing color. Your blue color is what you're going to use to create purple. Your blue color is what you're going to use to create the rose gold when you mix it with the red. So it's your custom coloring mixing color. Then we have our natural brown and our light brown, the 2 most popular colors that you will go through. And the colors that I guess you can say between the ages of 35 to and up, that age that they want that more subtle matching look. So your browns are your most popular, as well for beard tinting. The browns are popular. So the natural brown is a more darker. So if the client has dark hair but not completely jet black, you can go with the natural brown. But always check If you're going to leave it on for 5 minutes, in the 3 minutes, wipe off one brow and just check to see the level of darkness that was achieved, because many underestimate that they can go really dark, the brown. And I get calls all the time about, it's too dark for my client. What am I going to do? It doesn't come off, and they panic, right? So if you take one brow off halfway through the timing and engage your client in it to see too, you get their approval if they want you to leave it longer. And that way they won't get upset with you if it is darker. Okay. So same goes with the light brown. The light brown as well goes on very dark. It can go on very dark on really, really light brows. So once again, if you're only going to leave it on for 3 minutes, maybe a minute and a half, just look at it just to make sure that it's a little bit subtle. Although we want it to stay the full 3 minutes, we just need to see at what level it's picking up so it's not too dark for your client. You can mix the two browns together to create a medium brown. So if you wanted something in between, you can do that as well, which I do that for beards a lot. Okay. Okay, there's Renee. Sorry. Just trying to see any of the comments. Okay, so now we have chestnut and red. And remember how I said the chestnut and the red is what you can use to actually warm all the other colors as well. So if you wanted to go, when I was in Mexico City, a lot of the girls do love the red in there, but we didn't want to use straight red, so it's not too red. I would mix the red or the chestnut with my browns, so I can give them that warm hue of red. So the chestnut color, though, on its own is such a beautiful color. It's like that auburn. If somebody has that auburn hair, it's so beautiful on its own. So if you get those clients, encourage the chestnut. And if you have to mix a little bit of brown just to tone down the redness, you can do that as well. And then your red is also going to be a mixing color. Remember how we talked about the blue? The blue and the red is what you're going to mix together to create the purples and the rose golds. Okay. I have a question, Sandy. Can we print this out of the colors to keep as a reminder of mixing the colors? Yes. So any requests at the end of my presentation, there will be my information, our social media and emails and stuff. Any request you have, email me and I can send. For now, at the end of this presentation, you will get a recording and the consent form that's attached. But if you wish to have the custom colors, you'll see further down more charts on how to mix colors. If that's what you're interested in, please let me know, and by email, okay? And I can directly send it to you, okay? You're welcome. So once open, when do these expire? They, on the bottle, you'll have a tube, an image of a tube that's open and a jar that's open, and it says 12. That means it lasts up to 12 months once they've been open. If you have your tints closed and a year has passed, up to two to 3 years, you can still use that tint that has never been open. But once it's been open, 12 months. Okay. And also make sure you seal your caps right away, because what happens is when you open to go do the service and you squeeze it out and the tint looks super dark, like almost black, if your brown comes out like that, it's been oxidized. So that tint won't be as effective. So you'll have to cut that part off and not use it. So always make sure that you close immediately your caps so you don't waste product, because you're able to do 30 services per tube. So if you want to make that revenue, that profit accordingly, you want to be able to close that tube, okay? We can't see the model's face brow. You mean the picture here? There's something wrong with it? Oh, something looks wrong with it. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what's wrong with the picture. If everybody is having issues with this model seeing her face, I don't know if something got corrupted. Basically, she is, oh, my box blocks it. Was that with all the models? Oh no, people are saying it looks fine for them. What about now? Is that better? Sorry, I don't know why it's blocking the model. All good? Okay, for some who it doesn't show and for some who does it, I'm not quite sure why. But the model is a blonde model and her brows are bleached. So basically here we're talking about the blonde brow. And I saw another question, sorry. There is a question about the perming. Sorry, give me, on the same note, please, can you advise when the perm solution neutralizer expire once opening? The perm solution and the neutralizer for the lash lift and the brow lift, they expire 2 months after opening. Otherwise, if they're sealed, they have a date stamped on the bottom of them. So for example, mine don't expire till sometime in 2021. But after 2 months when you've opened them, they expire. So that's pretty quick. Okay. So if anybody is having, I've moved my box and I can't move it anywhere else. So if anybody is having any issues with the picture, just request a presentation. I'll give it to you. It could be that you have to expand your screen or change your dimensions of your screen. I made my box smaller, the camera view. So I'm not quite sure if that helped. But I know a lot of people are okay. Okay, so let's go back. Sorry if there's any issues, but hopefully, okay, got it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so for the blonde brow, it's this product. We're gonna have a slide on it, so I'm not gonna spend too much time with it until we reach the slide. But this is what you're going to use to bleach the brows in order to give them a fresh new color, or to be able to get those gray bristly hairs to be covered as well. Okay. And then here we put some before and after pictures, because what better way to make this product stand out or the results stand out than with before and afters. And it's nice to compare these, even show them to your clients too, of the brows, what they look like before. Even if you can see the model before, she has that auburnish reddish hair, and her brows are a little bit sparse in some areas, and like a faded black. But once you add that brown with the chestnut, you can see the brows have more depth. The color is fresh. Her face is framed, and as well, she's had a lash lift. So basically, this client doesn't really need to wear any makeup. Her lashes look long and dark. Her brows look fuller without any makeup. She can pop on some lipstick and she's ready to go. But here you can see that they mixed the brown, but to add more redness, they added the chestnut. Okay. You have to. Oh, sorry, Terry. What answer? The answer to which? Let me know again, because I don't know what the answer to what question. But do you recommend waxing the brows then tinting? So your waxing is done after. It's the last thing you do, because before you moisturize, right? But you have to tint first and then wax, because the reason is, if you were to wax before and then tint, the pores are open, you're going to create some kind of reaction, because the pores are open. When the tint goes into that pore, it's going to sting or maybe even do a little bit of inflammation or redness. Also, if you're going to leave markings, because a tint's going to go into that opening of the hair follicle, it's going to leave like markings of the tint, so staining. And then the third reason is, when you tint first, you can see the full scope of the brow, and you can shape it even better. Okay. Are you talking lash lift comes first, then tint? So lash lift comes first and then you tint after, and your tinting time is cut down to just 2 minutes on the lashes, 3 minutes on the brows if you've done a lift. So it's faster because you've already processed the hair, the follicle's open, and it's receiving the tint faster. Okay. Hope I answered that. Sorry if I missed the question. I have a couple more before and afters, but this one right here, we added actually red to it, because we're using the natural brown and it was pretty dark. In order to enhance a little bit more redness, the chestnut wouldn't show. So we put the red, because you can see in her hair right here, she has some lighter, redder tone highlights. Like, so if we had used the chestnut, it wouldn't have shown too much with such a dark natural brown. And that's why we put the red in this one. Okay. But the red is only a pin size amount. If you put way more than that, the red will become more predominant, more powerful, and it will look red. Okay. And then we have the bleaching, how I mentioned that if you want to give the contrast brows, there's clients out there that if they are models and they want that contrast brow, by bleaching it, you strip away the color. You can actually make the brow when you tint it after even darker. Okay, so that's a contrast brow with using the bleach, and you can see her before and after. So it is a look that people will like. And then just by using your black and with your natural, if you didn't want to go straight black because it might be too powerful on the client, you can mix the black with your brown, natural brown. And that's what I do for my like my African American clients. I mix the black with the brown or the blue black as well because I want that more sheen look. Okay. What do you mix the bleach with? We're gonna go on that PowerPoint. Does it say Luba? I don't know if I got the name right, but we're gonna go to that presentation. We're gonna talk about bleaching. Okay, so just give us 5 minutes and we'll get there. We are gonna talk about now the preparation. Okay, so to prepare the brow, what do we have to do? Because we know it's very important. If you're already using the Reflecticel line, we have this beautiful eye makeup remover. Okay, so the eye makeup remover is 3 properties in one bottle, and I love it. First one is that it's non-oily. So we need to be using an eye makeup remover that doesn't have these oil properties in it, because what it tends to do is it tends to be a barrier to whatever service you want to do. The second is the micellar. So this technology of the micellar that works like a magnet can pull out these waterproof makeups. It's nice that the client comes in without any makeup, but if they happen to come in with makeup on and it's waterproof, you need something that has micellar. The third thing, if you can see in the little pink box, you see the little circle right here? It says lash strengthening. So I like to say hair strengthening. Our eye makeup remover has a bunch of amino acids in it that these help moisturize. So when I bleach, when I remove the bleach, I like to use the eye makeup remover after to wipe the brow because I'm putting back all this moisture and strength to the hair after it's been stripped. Okay, I'm just gonna pause for a second to see some question. Can you just go back to the bleach brow? Sorry, what did you want to know about the bleach brow? We do have a section. This is what you wanted to see. We do have a section that will go through the steps on how to use the bleach. And my model today, that's why I want enough time for us to flow through this, because my model today, I will be putting the bleach on her to show you guys. Okay, so what's the ratio on the natural and pure black for African American clientele? You can do equal parts of the black and equal, so half and half. If you're doing 2 centimeters, 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter. If you want to not make it so dark with the black, then just do more ratio, like 1.5 centimeters of the brown and then 0.5 centimeters of the black. Okay, so a small dot as opposed to a full dot. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so we'll awesome. Okay, so let's go back to the preparation. Awesome. So you're going to remove the makeup with the Micellar eye makeup remover. And then you can use, if you want, the saline solution. I didn't put it in here because it's optional, the saline solution. This, I like using it in all my Reflecticel services because I know we use it for a lift if we do a brow lamination or a lash lift, but I use it with the colors as well because it makes the colors crisper, because you're doing that double cleansing preparation of the skin so that there's nothing there that's going to interfere. So that's why I like using the saline solution all the time for all my services. Okay, then we have the protection cream. The protection cream, you're going to outline the brow all around so you avoid unnecessary staining. Depending on how you apply the tint, some of us are cleaner, some of us are sloppier, but doesn't matter as long as you provide the effect that the client wants. How you apply it is to each their own. But if you don't want to be sitting there scrubbing the skin and making it red because you stained the skin, use the protection cream. Let me look at another question. Chrissy, please, can you advise when the neutralizer and perm solution expire once open? 2 months. The perm solution, am I going back on the questions or is it a new question? Sorry. 2 months after opening is the lash perm solution and the neutralizer. Out of each tube, we say you can get about 18 on each tube because it's supposed to be 36 applications. But because now you're sharing it with brows, it won't last as long because you're putting more solution on the brows and you can use the same kit or the same tubes. So for brows, we usually say about 8 to 12 applications per tubes. And then for the lash lift, I never say 36 because lashes have different degree of thickness and some of them need more solution, a bigger size, pea size. So I always say about 30 applications you can do instead of saying 36. But that all varies to the type of client you have. Okay, so hopefully that helped. Yes, the saline solution is addition to the makeup remover. I didn't put it in here because it's optional. But if you already have the saline solution for the lash lift and the lash curl or the brow lift, use it. Use it for the colors. And if you don't have one and you want to use it, purchase one. Purchase the Reflectisol one. Keep it in the system, okay? Because I found that my colors of my tints come out so nice and crisp. And also can last longer because you have such an immaculate, clean canvas that you're working with, okay? You're welcome, you're welcome. Can you use the tint in order to tint beards as well? Yes. I did do a webinar and I'm hoping to redo one again in the new year. But for now, if you go to reflectisoleducation.com, you can watch a past beard webinar that I did. Okay. And then hopefully in the new year we can do one because I want to teach everyone how to involve male clientele, not just when it comes to tinting, but also when it comes to brow lamination and our lash curl. So that will be something for the new year to be excited about. Okay. Just let me finish this presentation right here. Remember the question that you had asked about tinting, waxing before. So important. We have it in here. Your tinting must be done before any shaping services. So if that's waxing, if that's tweezing, if that's threading, that's done after you've tinted. Okay. So you use the Micellar makeup remover first, then you do the saline if you want to add that. So the makeup remover is what's going to remove makeup. The saline solution is what's going to degrease and just remove whatever is left on there. Even the makeup remover, if you've left some on there, it will remove all that and it will give you a clean canvas. So saline solution is step number 2 after your eye makeup remover. Okay. Okay, so now let's go to the ratios. Ratios are very, very important in order to achieve a proper color, but as well for it to last. Okay, so we have 2 oxidants. We have an oxidant cream and an oxidant liquid. Both do the exact same thing. Preference-wise, texture becomes your own preference. You decide which one you want to use because of the mixture, right? I like the cream because I do a lot of beard tintings as well, and if the client is sitting up in a chair, I don't want too much liquid. I want it to be thick in consistency and stay on. So I like to use cream. For the bleaching, it's only cream, not liquid. But many have found that they like the liquid because they feel that it penetrates faster than the cream because it's liquid. So it becomes optional in what you want to use, but the results will be the same. So if you're using the cream, it's 15 drops of cream to 3/4 of an inch of dye because the US will uses in inches, but in here in Canada, we will say 2 centimeters of tint. And then to 10 drops of the liquid to 2 centimeters of tint or 3/4 of an inch of the dye. I find when I work on brows, sometimes 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch is too much product. If I have very small, very thin brows, I'm going to have wastage. And I don't want to have waste. So I will cut that in half. I will make it 1 centimeter. And that way my cream will be 8 drops because you can't really do 7.5. And my liquid will be 5. Okay. I'll check your question. Oh no, Renee was able to answer it, I believe. Perfect. So you're going to mix it to get a very nice creamy texture. And then you're going to apply it onto the brows, the direction that the brows are going. And we say that the general tinting time is 3 to 5 minutes if they want that more subtle look. If they want the brows to be darker, you're going to enhance that timing, and you can go up to 15 minutes if they wanted it more dramatic. Okay, but always control and take a portion of the brow off. Show them, because you'll have some tint left over. Show them. They say, you know what? You can leave it on longer. I can have it darker. And you have some more tint. Put it back on. Leave it for the remainder of the time. Okay, getting your client involved like that doesn't allow for oops moments, or doesn't allow for your client to be like, like freaking out afterwards when they're walking out of the salon because their brows are too dark for them. I've had horror stories. I've had people crying and calling me, the clients calling me and be like, my brows are too dark. I'm freaking out. So we don't want that to happen. Okay. And always important, have tint remover on your station from Reflecticil, because if your client complained it was too dark, you can soften it to a certain degree with the tint remover, but also you can take away any staining on the skin. So always have the Reflecticil tint remover on your station. It will be your savior. Okay. Okay, so when you do red colors, if you're going to use the red shades, these usually take a long time to process. You might have known it as well when you go get your hair colored. If they're using red, this takes a longer processing time. So you have to, if you're using red in your color mixing, remember that it's not going to just be 3 minutes. It might have to be 5 to 10 minutes longer that you have to leave it to make that red pick through the hair and deposit into the hair. Okay. If you've bleached, only takes 1 minute for you to tint the brow. Monitor that. I've had to take it off 40 seconds because it was getting too dark. Okay. Because you've stripped away the color, it's naked now. It's going to receive that color, the new color, richly, so, and strong. So make sure that you're careful when you're putting that color, and you don't leave it longer than 1 minute, but halfway, 30 seconds, take it off a section and show it to your client to see how dark it's gotten. Okay. When you're removing, we always say remove with a dry cotton first, because if you have a lot of tint on the brow and you went right away with water and then it leaked and it gets into the eye, it can sting. So I always like to do a dry removal, and then I grab my wet cotton pad and clean the rest of it off. Okay. After you're done with that, you have any staining, use a tint remover. You can see in the picture here. And then you ended with the styling gel. Beautiful, beautiful product to add moisture back to the hair, to hydrate the hair, but also to protect the hair and that service. So this is a retail item. This can be sold to your client, okay, to take home and use it. So now we go into custom coloring, minus the shaping. Sorry, I didn't take it off of the presentation. No shaping today. But for the custom coloring, I'm just going to remind you again that the different kind of colors that we have. We have 8 different colors, remember, and then the blonde brow. Do not confuse the blonde brow as a light blonde brown color. Many people confuse it as a honey blonde color and buy it and go to use it, and it doesn't work or they'll have a disaster because they'll strip away color. So it is not a color, the blonde brow. It is a bleaching, okay? Now we talk about the bleaching, okay? Because in order to create these funky colors, if their brows are black, or in order to put a new color, if the brows are black, you can't lift black. So bleaching will be an option. So With the blonde brow, you can lighten up to 3 shades. And here is 3 different reasons why you would use the blonde brow. Number 1, to lighten untreated eyebrows. So, for example, I used to be platinum blonde, and my brows are very dark in nature. They're very black. So the contrast for me, like the model in the picture, the contrast, she was beautiful contrast. Me, didn't look good. It made me look older. It made me look washed out. It didn't look good. So I could lighten my brows, 2 shades maybe, and just walk out because they were a nice lighter brown. I didn't have to put no color to it. But if you pull red, when you lighten it, it might show a little bit brassy. So add a little bit of graphite, and in 10 seconds, every 10 seconds, put it on, pull off, pull off, put it on, pull off, just to pull away that brassiness. Then the second reason why you want to use a blonde brow is to lighten before a tint. So if you're going to deposit a new color, for example, my model, she had her hair was black, but she had her hair lightened and has some rose gold in her hair. With black brows and blonder highlights and rose gold highlights, it doesn't look nice on her, the contrast. So we're going to bleach it and deposit a brown with a little bit of a warm tone to it. Just a little bit of chestnut just to warm it up. So we'll show you the bleaching part of it, okay? Then the third reason is to be able to tint those gray, white, bristly hairs. It's those gray hairs that look so thick like a wire that the tint won't cover. So that's when you have to bleach. And if you can see in the corner here, the mix is, you're going to need your full 2 centimeters or your 3/4 of an inch, because you got to cover that brow properly. And you're going to mix it with about 23 to 25 drops of the oxidant cream. So only cream. When we go to the application, if you see here, it says stir for at least 2 minutes, because we've had people call us and say, oh my goodness, your bleach is so clumpy. I'm going to return it. It's expired. No, it's not defective. Any bleach agent that you use, when you're mixing it first, it's very clumpy. You have to stir a minute or 2 until it becomes a grainy paste. Then you know it's ready to use. Okay. When you're applying it, you want to be able to go against the hair growth. You want to apply that bleaching that's covering all the hairs. If you miss anything, it's going to reflect in your deposit of your color, okay? And there's a chart here that will help you see the 3 levels. So if you're going to lift 1 level, it's only 5 minutes, the bleaching paste. If you're going to lift 2 shades, it's 12 minutes. If you're going to lift 3 shades, or like a 3 levels, it's 20 minutes. Do not go past 20 minutes, because you can potentially damage the hair on the brows. Remember, the hair on the brows is not like the hair on our head. Much less, much thinner, much softer. We don't want to damage it, okay? So don't go past 20 minutes. Also, make sure you wipe it off properly, because bleaching paste and oxidant together, they keep working. They never stop. Our tints, after an hour, they stop. They're not progressive. But the bleaching keeps going. So you can cause damage. So make sure, that's why I say I like to use the makeup remover to make sure I have cleaned everything off and I've strengthened the hair. Okay. And this chart helps you to see what the hair will look like. For example, me, 4N, if I come in and bleach full 20 minutes, I will have this nice, softer, like ash blondish hair. I can just walk out when I had the blonde hair, right? The blonder you make the hair, the lighter you strip the hair, the more brighter the color is. So if you're wondering, for example, my model wants your client wants the rose gold color, but wants to be very bright, then you would potentially have to, and her brows are black, you would potentially have to bleach it the full 20 minutes so that the color comes out brighter. So the higher you go, the max you go of 20 minutes, the brighter the color comes out. Okay. And here's just to remind you, just for eyebrows, not for lashes. I don't know how many people ask to use on the lashes. Please don't. That is so dangerous. Only with oxidant cream, not with the liquid. Must not be mixed with other colors. I've had people pick it up thinking it is a color and mix it. It doesn't do that. It's to strip away color. Okay. You lighten up first. You strip first. You lighten the hair first, and then you tint. And as we said, do not leave longer than 20 minutes because you will risk damaging. These little color charts here are what's going to excite you because it doesn't just only have how to create different colors, but it has your natural look, like your soft color with mixing the two browns, equal parts, 5 to 8 minutes. And on the back of the color card, so check with your distributor if they have these, because we're going to come out with an updated one with new models on it. But it's a key ring and it gets put into your salon. And on the back side, just like when you go get your hair done, they have hair swatches. You can compare to what the hair can look like. You can do the same thing on the back of this one with the brow swatches. Okay, so we have warm shades. Remember how we said if you want to warm your browns, you add the red or the chestnut, but look at the ratio here. It's not equal parts. 0.1 is your red, which means it's a pin size head, so small. Because I've had incidents where I was training and they didn't listen and they put much more red and all the brows turned. Was that Ronald McDonald? Do you know Ronald McDonald? red brows. It does not look good. So pin size amount. Cool shades, equal parts. The graphite and whatever other color you want to cool. Either it's your natural brown or your light brown. So this will help you because it gives you the timing too. Okay. Then we go into if you want to do a soft brow, if you want to bleach it a little bit, or if you want to do the full bleach out brows. Once again, it tells you the look. But this is where it becomes more exciting. These beautiful colors. Okay. So you might think, oh, do people actually request this? I don't know how many times I've done this rose gold because it looks so beautiful, so subtle. It's not that you're going to walk around with bright pink and bright purple and bright blue brows. It's a hue of subtleness that matches that hair, but not crazy. Okay. So the rose gold has been really popular for me. And that if you have to bleach it, if their brows are blonde, it's okay. You don't have to bleach because it's going to grasp these colors and it's going to give the rose gold. If their brows are darker brown or black, it won't, the brown will show to a deep rose gold, but if their brows are black, it won't show at all. So you would have to strip it. If you leave it the full 20 minutes, the more brighter the color would be. So consult with your client what look they want. So you see with the purple and the pink, they're both using the same color. They're both using red and blue, but check out the ratio. The ratio increases on the blue to create the purple, decreases on the blue to create the rose gold. Okay, so for the rose gold, it's 2 pin size as opposed to the purple, it's 0.5. It's half of that centimeter that you're going to use. So it's a bigger pin size amount. Okay. The blue shades are nice too. I've done that a couple of times where you take your blue and you take your graphite and you mix together and you have these blue brows, but they're steel blue. It's like that cool blue, like a cool tone blue. And it's really nice as well. How do I just get a pin size? What I usually do, in your tint box, there's a little brush with a very pointy end. I squeeze my tube, and as long as it's a brand new stick and it's been disinfected, I grab a little dot of it, like a little pin size, a little ball of it. I use that small brush and I place it into my bowl. Or chop it off with a little brush and put it in my bowl. Okay, so hopefully that will help you too. And if you squeeze out a little too much, just take that brush and cut it in half, like separate that blue or that red or whatever, and take the rest and put it in the garbage if you're not going to use it, or put it aside. Because what's happened many times is if it turned out too red or, and I had some blue left over, I can add that blue to my mixing to counteract the too red. So sometimes keep it to the side and you might have to use it. So hopefully that helped your question. Okay. Okay. So let's just go to the aftercare because we're running out of time and I really want to do this demo. So let's go to the aftercare because it's very important that we do provide an aftercare. And as I mentioned, it's that styling gel. This product I love. I use it at home every morning to strengthen and just hydrate my hairs because also on my brows, I do a brow lamination because I want my brows to be thick. I do that service and then I use this every morning to soften the hair to make it stay up as well. Okay. So you're going to apply this at the end of your service to your client, but you could also, and remember to use a disposable mascara wand. Don't use the wand that's in there because it's called cross-contamination. So make sure you have disposable brushes. Your client at home, when they buy this, they could use this straight how they wish with the wand that's already inside. And they can apply it to both their lashes and their brows. Okay. Then we have the protection cream. Now remember, sorry, yes, Carol, you're going to get the recording for this. And then afterwards, the recording gets put into a Dropbox account because it expires after a couple of days, the link for the recording. Once it's on a Dropbox, it's permanent, but we also put it on the reflectosoleducation.com. So you could always go there and watch it as well. Okay. Does leaving the tint for less time make the color not last as long? Yes, Cynthia, it does. If you were to take it off the tint before 3 minutes, I start the processing time at 3. 1 to 2 minutes, the hair is trying to, the tint's trying to oxidize and is trying to help penetrate and is trying to help lift and deposit. If you take it off in 1 or 2 minutes, the customer will come back within a week because it's faded. Okay. But this product, the styling gel, you could always sell that to them because it could help prolong the color, especially for clients who are swimmers or it's a hot season. This will be a good product for them to have every morning to seal in that service and help it last longer than a week. Now the massage cream, the cream, while we put it again here, remember we talked about at the beginning that you can outline the brow. Here, they decide to put it again to add a massage treatment because the protection cream works as a protection cream. It works like as eye mask cream. So you can, when you're doing lash tinting or lash lift, you can put it on the pads and you're giving them an eye mask treatment. But third thing is you can use it as a massage treatment. Now, nobody does this. And the manufacturer thought, what a great opportunity to make your services more of an elite service, make you stand out by giving your client a nice temple eye massage in this area here. Your occipital bones, your temples, your forehead, around the brow bone. If you do these little movements, see there's different types of arrows. This is a solid arrow, so you're doing more of a drainage. This is more of a circular, so you can, you're circling it, around the temple, you do these circular movements. And then you have a dotted one. I don't know if you can tell. The dot ones we call tapotement. It's the ones that you're going to tap and circulates the blood and gives a nice smooth skin effect. So these services, if you add them and do about massage steps, if you add these, maybe spend a minute or two, your client will be coming back all the time because who does not want a massage at the end of their treatment? And they'll be telling more people. Okay. Approximately how long the tint lasts on the brows? They do say 4 to 6 weeks that the tint should last, but it plays a different on the type of techniques you carry at home when it comes to washing your face. If you're using exfoliants and you're going on the brows, if you're using oil products to remove your makeup and you're going on the brows, if you're a swimmer, if you're a gymnast, if you go to the gym and you sweat a lot, all these play in diminishing the longevity of how long the tint will last. That's why this styling gel product is really good to send home with your client. Even if they did a tinting or they did a lash lift or they did a brow lift, send this product home with them to use it every day. Okay. Here's your home care package. These are 3 products that you can use to, what's the word called? To send home to your client. These are retail items. Okay, so the first one we talked about was a styling gel. That's a day treatment. Then we also have a care balm, which is a night treatment. Think of it when you go get your hair done, they have to put a mask on it or they have to put like an oil in it because your hair was kind of damaged before. And then the treatment, if you bleach your hair, could have made it really dry. They're going to give you an oil or a mask. So the same thing would be for your lashes or your brows. This has castor oil in it, so it will help thicken the hair. Also has a bunch of other rich plant oils and vitamins. Now make sure that you don't use this right away. You have to wait 24 hours before you use an oil product. If you've lifted, tinted the eyelashes or brows, wait 24 hours to use this and use it at nighttime. Every morning, because my lashes, I try to preserve their length and their thickness. Every night before I go to sleep, I put the care balm on my lashes, and on the root of my lashes, I use the booster. So this one here is what's going to help grow your hair. The Lash and Brow Booster on your brows and your lashes is going to increase and help them to grow. And Care Balm doesn't have grow boosting properties, but if you give care to your lashes or your brows that were damaged from something else, from lash extensions or something, if you provide this intense night treatment, your lashes will be thicker and longer because they're going to grow to their true nature as they did before. So they are going to look longer and healthier. Okay. And then the last thing I want to point out here is our Lash and Brow Bar. So depending where you are in Canada, tinting services are accepted. So wherever you are in your salon, have this Lash and Brow Bar displayed for your clients to even see it because it makes a statement. If a client walks in and you're busy with someone and they're coming in for a waxing and they see this Lash and Brow Bar and they're like, what is this? I want this done. It makes a sale on its own. Okay. No worries, no worries. You're going to get the recording of this, so no worries. You're going to be able to watch the demonstration on your time. Okay. That's why we make the webinars an hour and a half now, because information is a lot and I want to be able to answer questions and then show a demo. Okay, so this brow lash bar, if you're in the US, you have to check what state you are and your regulations, because in some areas the tinting, they don't allow it, so you might not be able to display this. But it's a beautiful product because it carries all the 8 colors and the blonde brow. On the back side you have your tint remover, your protection cream, your styling gel, your eye makeup remover. You have your little bowls to put your cotton and your Q-tip and your brushes, and it's a caddy. I'm mobile as well. I do a lot of trade shows. I do a lot of education. I go to people's homes. I do services. I can bring this everywhere I go. You're a makeup artist? Perfect. You bring it to everywhere you go. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for being here. So the last slide for your preference, if you want to take a picture of it, if you want to follow us on Reflectacil to know when our next webinars are, or to see what's new and out, what new products we have out, is Reflectacil North America. I have my trainer one as well as Browista by Reflectacil. Like us on Reflectacil North America. And then if you want to check any past webinars, reflectacileducation.com. That's the website you want to go and watch all the webinars that we do put up on there. And then as well, if you need to email me, ask me a question, there's the email as well, so I can help you with any technical questions, to be able to, you're able to offer these services properly. Okay, so what I will have to do now, sorry, there's a question. Where can I buy the styling gel? Cosmoprof. You'd have to check the next closest beauty distributor apart from Cosmoprof, because I don't believe Cosmoprof has the styling gel yet. So you'd have to check the next beauty supply closer to you. If you have to call CB1 Group, we can tell you where the closest distributor is in your location, in your area. We don't recommend, if you have lash extensions on, we don't recommend you use these aftercare products. On the brows, yes. On the lashes, no. Because what's going to happen is it's going to fade the glue for the lash extensions, and prematurely the lashes can fall out. So because there's oils and because it's going to boost the lashes to grow faster, your service of your lash extensions won't last long. So use it after. If you're going to give a break from lash extensions, use these at home to build your lashes again. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get my model ready. What I have to do is I have to switch the camera view because I put it as a bird's eye view on top of my model. So what I'm going to do now is you're not going to see the camera at the moment. I'm going to disable it. I'm going to get my model in on the bed, and then we're going to put the camera on. Okay, so give us about a couple minutes to do this. If you have any questions, I will answer them during the demo. I will do my best. We have the translators on, so I can't, I mean, the interpreters on, so I can't put somebody, Renee, on. I was going to put you on to ask the question. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to come back and forth to the screen when I'm working with my model to answer your questions, okay? Can we recommend all aftercare for after perm and lamination as well? Yes, you can. All these aftercare products. So once again, the oil ones, the one that's the Care Balm, 24 hours after. Same thing with the lash booster, 24 hours after. The styling gel, you can use it right away because we use it at the end of the treatment anyways. Okay, so yes, you can recommend those. So let me set up. You won't see the camera for a couple minutes. As you can see, her brows are pretty flat, but her hair has been lightened. It might be a little bit hard to see the true color, but she's got some like white pieces, but also some rose gold pieces, but very subtle rose gold. It's mostly blonde. So we could do a little bit of the subtle rose gold, or I can just, what I was going to do was I was going to do the bleaching so you guys can see the bleaching. And then I was going to do because her hair has a lot of nice warm brown, I was going to take the brown and mix it with some red, but very little red, that pin size amount of red with the natural brown. So I'm going to do that, but meanwhile you get to see the bleaching. Sorry, just one second, I want to straighten that. Okay, there we go. But you get to see the bleaching as well. So let's do the prep work. I have to prep myself. My hands are washed. I'm going to sanitize them though. We want to take extra care of our client and be very careful with our techniques. My model's wearing her mask, and I'll be wearing my mask as well. And a lot of guidelines, you have to also wear a shield. So I have with me a shield as well, especially when you're working on the face and they can't wear a mask, you should be wearing a shield. But my model has her mask on. We don't have to remove it. So me just wearing a mask is perfect. Enough. And make sure you wash your hands with soap and water. And then in between, you can do your hand sanitation. Okay? So let's do the prep work. Let me just... Okay. So I'm going to show on the camera the saline solution that I was talking about so that you know. If I sound a little bit muffled, sorry, because of the mask, but hopefully you can hear me. But that's the saline solution, okay? So I love using this all the time, regardless of what I do for Reflecticil. Whether it's the brows or the lashes, I'm always using this, okay? So I'm going to do her prep. And when you're doing bleaching, if you didn't have the saline solution, but you're going to bleach, you have to use saline solution, okay? Because when you bleach, you want the canvas to be extremely clean, or else your bleaching won't be effective. So I'm going to grab my makeup remover. I can show you in the picture again, in the video. Okay. I'm going to take my cotton, and I'm going to clean her brows. So my lovely model, Lisa, she came in without any brow filling makeup, but if they have some powder that they've applied, that will reflect, right? So we want to be able to clean that area properly. Okay, we're going to do the other side. Now, on a side note, a model like Lisa, with the new brow lamination trend, her brows are falling down. if she wanted a more fuller upwards look, a brow lamination would be amazing on these brows, and it will soften them too. So if that's something you haven't gotten into, brow lamination is a lot of fun, very easy to do. I do have webinars up on our Reflectus Education website to see how it's done. It's a great fun way to enhance those brows, even the small, thinner brows, to make them look thick again. Okay, so once I remove that, now I'm going to do my saline solution. Once again, brand new cotton, put my saline solution and do the same thing, okay? And now I know with the saline solution, there's nothing that was left behind, not even the traces of makeup remover. And that way I'm going to get the amazing results that I need, okay? Now with Lisa, when I put the bleaching paste on, I'm going to monitor it because it's her first time getting her brows bleached, so I don't know what level her brows would lift. So I'm going to say I want to leave it up to 2 levels because she has black brows. When I reach the 5 minutes, I will take off the bleach and check on one of the brows to see how much level it lifted, like how much take did it take to lift. And that way I'll know that the 12 minutes, if I leave it on another 6 more minutes, I know that, yes, that's the right time. Or it might be that I have to leave it for 20. But because her blonde and her rose gold is not too bright, I don't want to leave it 20 minutes. I want to keep that degree of darkness of the colors the same as her hair. So now we've prepped. What you can do as well, which I'll show it, is the protection cream. Remember our fun little I use this as a hand cream too. This is like an amazing duo, triple, four, like it does so many things. So what you can do is put an amount like this on your hand, okay? And you can grab your Q-tip. I'm a clean tinter, but if you bleach too, it tends, and it's touching the skin, it will lighten the skin as well. So I would outline, okay, the protection cream, so that even, just make sure you don't touch the hair. If you do, like that, just make sure you wipe it off. But this is a way to not lighten the skin when you bleach. Also, not to stain the skin when you color. Okay, so if you don't have the protection cream, remember, it works like a protection from staining, from bleaching the skin. It works as a massage cream, and it works like an eye mask treatment. So you're not missing out if you buy this beauty. I mean, you are missing out if you don't buy this beauty. I don't know if I said that right, but it's good to have this in your station. Perfect. So once you've outlined the brow area, then you're going to get your bleaching paste. And this is what our bleaching paste looks like. So there's no number on it. It's just this white bleaching paste. And then you're going to grab, I'm going to grab my artist palette. So I'm going to use, we have these nice artist palettes. Okay, and inside you can see there's a line. That line shows your, sorry, it's a little blurry, but that line shows your 2 centimeters. So it's your guide. And this fits on the hand like that. So your hand's free and you can hold areas or use your full hand capacity. Okay, so I'm going to take my bleaching paste. I'm going to use my full 2 centimeters because she does have thick, nice brows. So when I do that 2 centimeters, it's going to cover that line. And then I'm going to take my oxidant cream, because remember, oxidant cream is what you use, okay, for your bleaching. And we said 23 to 25 drops. I always do 25. I get a good mixing with it. So I'm going to count as I'm putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. The bowl might get a little bit bigger. I mean, you might need to use a bigger bowl, but that's how it will look inside. Whoops, with the oxidant. So remember, stir it for a while so that it turns into this grainy paste and it's not clumpy. Okay, work it so that it, same with your tint. I like to mix it like I'm going to bake a cake. Get a nice creamy consistency. So I'm going to mix this nicely. Okay, and once I've mixed that, I can start applying it on the brow area. Now, remembering that we need to cover all capacity of the brow. Let's not leave anything. So here you can go even against the hair growth. Okay, so if you're going to apply it on her brows, you can even work against the hair as well. It's always good to check in on your client, your customer as well, on how the feeling is, because you just want to be careful it's not too much on the skin. If you feel like you've put a lot on the skin, you could always wipe it off. Once again, trying to go and try to cover those hairs. The best you can. And that's why that full 2 centimeters is needed. If you have really thick brows, you might even have to go mix some more. So you can start the timer now, if like for yourself, how you wish, or before or after. So I had said originally I want the 12 minutes. So if I start the timer now, I just need to know that halfway I'm going to check on her brow. So let me add the timing, start it from now at 12 minutes. Perfect. And I know at 6 minutes, 6 minutes, I can go back and check it. The texture of this bleach, I have to be honest, looks a little different. I don't know if the formulation, if I have the new one that's changed in the bleaching. So hopefully, I haven't tested it out. So hopefully we'll see the hair lightening. Once again, try to go against. So I always say, try to make it go on like caterpillars. And you can see why you're going to be using the whole bleaching paste. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm also going to grab a Q-tip. Just if I feel, I already put the protection cream on there, but I like to be a little clean on the skin just to not allow it to irritate the skin. So right now only a couple minutes have passed, so I don't see any of it taking at the moment. But I still have some more left over, just in case. Is there any questions in the meantime that I can ask while that's staying on? When we use three quarters versus 6 per, we don't use the 6% ever, because Reflectacil is all about 3% being safe around the eye area. Anything higher than 3%, you're not being safe around the eye area. As well, the hair on the face is less. It's not as thick or textured as the hair on your head, so you don't want to do anything to damage it as well. So we always stick it at 3%. If you want to go higher, it's to your own discretion. Is it blurry? Sorry, hold on 1 second. I think it's trying to focus on the bleaching paste. Is that better? I think the focus of the of the bleaching paste. Okay, if you apply too many or too little drops of the oxygen cream, will this affect the tint color? Yes, you don't. If you put way less the ratio to the 2 centimeters, if you were to put, I've heard some people put like 6 drops of oxidant liquid to their 2 centimeters of tint, it won't be able to lift properly and help the color to deposit. So that's why you need to use the, anything you do to alter it, anything to do, if you're going to do less tint, obviously you're going to do less the oxidant according to the main ratio. So remember when I said if I wanted to go 1 centimeter, I'm going to dock down my cream to 8 because I can't really do 7.5, and then 5 of the liquid. Okay. If the client only has a few white hairs, you still got to cover the whole brow. You can't do a spot check because the hair beside it is still going to take. And then when you deposit the new color, it's going to look highlightish, like highlights. How long does the bleach tube last after opening? Same thing, 12 months like the tint. So I still have 2 minutes before I go, but I can see that in some areas it's not taking, like it's still pretty black. She does have virgin black hair. So that's why potentially for her, for the first time, would be 20 minutes. Because this is her first time bleaching her brows. So I'm making it like a caterpillar because I want to cover all the hairs. So we've only left it on for 4 minutes so far. So we already know that the 5 minutes for her level 1 is not good. It's not going to work. I guess eventually once you start bleaching, same with like if you do a lift, every so often you do the lift, the hairs start to learn to the structure that you want them to be at. So it becomes easier. You just cover up here. You really want to make sure you cover all those hairs. Any hairs you miss will be reflected. And sometimes it might be that they have to come back for next bleaching after a couple of weeks, like after 2 weeks, because you can't, if you're only allowed to leave it for 20 minutes, but they wanted to go blonder their brows, they have to come in another visit. So I'm just making sure they're all covered. So we're actually going to let the timer go. I'm not going to do a halftime check because I could already see that her hair wasn't lifting. So I'm just going to leave it for the full 12 minutes. We have another 6 minutes left. And after that, I could see, oh, you okay, Lisa? Mm-hmm. Okay, he squinted. After that, we could see if she's got to go for the rest of the 8 minutes to make it, sorry, 14 minutes. Where do we go? We're at 12? Yeah, so the rest of the 8 minutes to make it 20. Okay, so let's see any questions now that I have time to answer these. We are at, how long does the bleach tube last? We said 12 months. Can you bleach after laminated brow? Yes, you can. Let me just make sure that it was you bleach first and then you laminate, or laminate first. I believe it's laminate first and then the bleaching afterwards. The timing, you still follow the same way. What would you suggest for black beards with sparse gray all over? Yeah, you would have to bleach, but the thing is with a man's beard, it's pretty coarse. So it might be that you have to do it a second time bleach come in. I have yet to bleach a man's beard because what I do, if they have a lot of, I've had a couple of people I demoed at a trade show where they had gray in it, and I just used the darker tint and left it on for a long time. Because remember, you can leave it on for an hour, like up to an hour before it's not progressive anymore. You can leave it on the bleach. I've even left it for like a half an hour. Right? So the bleaching can be a little bit, if there's more skin area, it can feel a little bit sensitive. So just always do a patch test on the client first, the male client, just to make sure that their skin is okay and they won't have any reaction with the bleach. It's very important. And then you would have to distribute it throughout the whole bleach, though. You can't do spot checks. And you potentially, with the gray, all you have to do is pre-soften it, though. So it's not that the gray, it's not that the bleaching, you'd have to leave it long. Let me explain this properly so we don't make a mistake. The bleaching you would have to pre-soften, but you'd have to put all over the whole beard, which is about 3 to 5 minutes just to pre-soften. Then when you deposit the color, it's going to grasp it more. It's going to grasp it better, okay? So it's the color that you can leave longer to grasp it better, not the bleaching. The bleaching, you just have to pre-soften for 3 to 5 minutes on those gray, stubborn hair. It's a quick procedure. Chrissy, if my client did lamination and now she went blonde with her hair, how long I have to wait to bleach your brows to change the color? So if you just did a brow lamination, say you just did it last week, and now she changed her hair to blonde, usually they come back every 4 weeks for brow lamination. You can potentially do it in 3 weeks. Just make sure that you inspect the client's brows. Are they okay? Are they in good condition? Even if the brow lamination, did they take good care of them? They have the aftercare remedy, to strengthen them, then you can. Otherwise, just wait for their next brow lift treatment and do both, a lift and a bleach. Okay? So we still have about 3 minutes left before I check her brow and think to see if I want to leave it on for another 8 minutes. So hopefully that answered your questions. Is it Claudia? I'm sorry, the writing is so small of your name. I hope. Let me see if I can expand it more. No, I can't. That's all I can expand it. Michelle, I think it's Claudia. Michelle, Claudia, perfect. Any other questions? Ask away because we still have a little under 3 minutes. I take the opportunity to answer those, and then we're going to see how to do that little spot check. So unfortunately, our webinar is going to go a little bit over. I'm okay. I'm going to stay and complete the whole thing. But if you have to go, no worries. You'll get it as a recording. But if you can stay, all the best, because then I can answer all those questions. Okay? So ask away. I'm just going to do a little bit. You're good, Lisa? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're obviously trying to show a safer method than what the hairdressers would be using. I chose myself a challenging model for my webinar. Okay, so Chrissy, how does brows look after bleach and tinted brows once the color wears off? So I never really had, I've done it on my mom and it doesn't show that definition. It doesn't show that a root or anything comes off. It just fades, and then just if she has gray hair, it just comes back to being normal with the gray and the black. When one has gray and black. So there was never that half tone color, like half when it's growing out. It would just fade the whole system or the whole color of bleaching just faded. So there wasn't that. Hopefully that answers your question. That like I answered it properly. So how many more? We have 36 seconds. I could already tell that there's a lot of areas that didn't take, but that's once again, it's a virgin brow I'm working with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a Q-tip. I could already see that it's like a lighter brown from black. It might be hard to see on the camera. Take off a little bit more. But can you tell it's a little bit lighter brown from what it was before? If you can remember before, it's lighter. So what I'll do is I actually am going to leave another 8 minutes. I'm going to start it now, but halfway through that, I'm going to check at 4 minutes because I could see that it's not black anymore. It's like a brown, but warm brown, like a orangey, like a brassy brown. So I'm going to cover that back up. So that's a good thing. We know it's taking, but you know, when you go get your hair bleached, if your hair is black or if you've colored it with the box black, your hairdresser is going to hate you for that. So this is how, it's not her fault. It's her natural brow colors, but that's how the feeling is. So you got to work it. But if you saw in the camera, it looked lighter. Even when I look through the camera, I can see, because I could see it with my naked eye, but when I looked at the camera, it did look lighter. In my naked eye, it looks goldeny when I get closer to it. Okay, so I put it back on and we're good. We're going to leave it on for 4 minutes. I'm going to remove that brow so we can see the difference. I'm going to do it at 4 minutes. Okay, let's see if there's any other question. Blonde brow is my favorite effect still too. Is it Caitlin? Yeah, it's nice because of the different things you do. Like I have a lot of clientele that has the gray hair. So the tint doesn't grasp it properly. So it's not the gray hair that's like that soft gray hair. It catches that, the tint. But once you get that bristly, coarse, wiry gray hair, it doesn't want to catch it. Okay. So in 2 minutes, I'm going to remove it. Let me get the colors that I wanted to show you that I want to do. So I actually wanted to, now that I'm looking at it, if I do the red, her hair has a lot more like blonder red. So what I was going to do is I'm going to take the where is it? The natural brown. I can always do light brown too. But if I take the natural brown, the 3, and the chestnut, I can mix those together. So my chestnut is what's going to add the warmth to it to give a little bit of the red hue. I don't want to go too dark on her brows. And remember, after you've bleached, it's 1 minute for the color. So at 30 seconds, I'm going to take off a brow and see what it's developed to. So let me get my palette prepared. For when I remove the bleach. Okay, so I'm getting my colors prepared. And that's another thing, when you get comfortable with the colors, like originally I wanted to use red, but now when I look at it, I'm like, you know what? I actually don't want to use red because it'll be too warm for her. And she does have a lot more blonder pieces and I didn't want to, so you can switch it up as well, but as long as you're giving them that look that they want, okay? How long do you think we have to wait to do microblading after bleaching tinting? So microblading, I know Caitlin's on here. I think Caitlin, you said you like what's the word called? You cater to microblading. But microblading, if it's freshly done, you can't really do anything to it for like a month or so. You can't touch the area. They're on antibiotics to heal that area from scabbing and so forth. So I don't let people touch it, especially if you're going back to do your touch-up in 6 months. I wouldn't do any of these services to begin with. So, but if they're not going back to touch up after, sorry, what was the question? I meant prior any microblading. Oh, you mean if they want to go do microblading? Sorry, I read it wrong. If they want, because a lot of people ask, can they do this after microblading has been done? And I'm saying sure, as long as they don't go for a touch-up and they wait about 2 months before they, after their treatment, right? So if they wanted to do it before a microblading, once again, they have to check if their professional is the microbladist as well. She will give them the appropriate, I don't do microblading. So I would suggest that as well before you would have to wait, because the coloring of the bleaching can also alter the microblading. So you might not want to do it before you go do microblading. So you have to speak to your beauty professional that's doing the microblading. Yes, I don't know, Caitlin, what they were asking is before. I feel that the bleaching, whatever they do before the microblading, could affect the coloring. So I'm not quite sure. That's why I had said if the person, the professional is doing the microblading, ask them first if it's okay to do anything before they go get a microblading treatment. If you have an answer to that, Caitlin, to be prior to microblading, if they can do the bleaching and stuff. I mean, not can, will it affect the microblading? You can let us know. How do you get a color lighter than light brown without compromising how long the color will last? So you mean you wanted to get a light brown on them and the light brown is not light enough? You can bleach, but then once again, the light brown can look a little bit darker as well. I'm trying to understand your question. Oh, okay. So I have, sorry, there's so many questions popping up right now. I have microblading. If removed, I will lose. You don't. Okay. No worries, no worries. You'll get the recording to this. So your microblading will not be affected. Oh, I don't know how to type. Caitlin, do you want to type that for me so I can go back? The girl, I have to go back and remove the bleach, but she says if she has microblading, there's a deaf student, we have to type it down. Will she lose her microblading if she does any of this treatment before? If it's been months and months and months since her last refreshment of her microblading, no, this won't affect it at all. But Caitlin, is it possible that you can answer that for me in text form? And I'm gonna go check her brows. And I know a lot of people have to leave because we did go over time. So yes, can you see now the bleach took? Okay. Now because she's got that that brass, that's okay, like that, because we want it to be warm tone. If we didn't want that to be warm tone, we'd have to add the graphite. So for Lisa, 20 minutes. Can you guys see that? Now there's still some parts that are black, but you remember what we said? After 20 minutes, you can't go longer because you will damage. Just because her brows are pure black virgin, so she would have to come back again in about 2 weeks or a week or 2 weeks to redo the next level, one more level of 5 minutes. But I wouldn't. You can't do the same seating. Okay. So if that was a strawberry blonde client, if their hair was strawberry blonde, you can leave it like that and they can walk out. I would do a brow lamination too, just to have it nice and thick. But yeah, okay, so let me take my makeup remover because I want to remove that, clean that side before I apply the color. So I'm going to take my makeup remover. Remember, it has a bunch of amino acids that are going to hydrate. So if you have a client like Lisa, Lisa is an Asian client, so their brows are nice and thick and black to the blackest. So yes, 20 minutes is what we did. Okay, so I just cleaned it with the eye makeup remover. Now the other side, I have to leave another couple of, oops, sorry, I kicked the thing. I'm just gonna check and see how it's taken. Yep, so I have to leave it another minute because obviously this side was longer. So let's leave that another minute. Let me prepare my color for Lisa. So we are doing the natural brown. And then for my chestnut, I'm going to go a little bit more than a pea size amount, just a little bit, because we want that warmth in it. I'll show you it. I'm just taking. So the one side, oh, blurry. Okay, let me clear that out. So see the chestnuts on the right-hand side, and it is very little. I put the majority of the 1.5 centimeters of the natural brown. Okay, this is another different ring. This is a ring palette that we have. I just don't want to mix with the other one because I didn't clean or disinfect the other palette, so I'm using my ring palette. Okay, perfect. So let's do that. Let's add our 15 drops of cream because we put full 2 centimeters. Let's mix that. It's okay if I mix it now. It's all right because I'm just going to remove the bleach, do the eye makeup remover. So happy the way it turned out the brow. If we had done the rose gold pink though, it would have been too bright. For this, I probably would have did it at the 12 minutes. So that's why I'm going to choose the darker tone with the chestnut and the natural brown. Okay. So let's remove the other side. I'm just doing a dry Q-tip rolling technique, but if you want to use a cotton pad, you can use a cotton pad. Comes off nice and clean. Okay, makeup remover to clean that area. If you want to do the saline too, by all means, you can do the saline after. Oh, so I can see, did I leave a little piece? Yeah, I left a little piece of black. I could see that there. But that's also some of the hairs you can see. It's almost like a highlighted effect. So that's why I'm saying she would have to come again a week and redo it. We can't do it. We can't put more now. We passed the 20. We did the 20 minutes. If we put more, we risk on affecting the hairs. So either my lighting is wrong, but I think one brow took a little bit more. I'm going to go front view just because the camera might be giving me. It might be a little bit the camera, but I know one side of her brow. So what I'm going to, one side of her brow took a little bit more. So I'm going to start off with this side though. Leave it on longer just so it can darken. But remember, it's only 1 minute after a bleach. So I'm going to work one brow at a time. Because you can already see, look how quick. Okay, so in 30 seconds, I'm actually going to remove it because I want to see how it took. Because we don't want it to take too dark. And because we bleach for 20 minutes, it could take really dark. But it's going to have a hint of red in it. So I'm just going to remove it now. See how quick it took the color? Very quick. So, but it's hard to see on the camera. But on my eye here, I can see red. I could see that chestnut into it. If you wanted it more red, then you could just, what you can do right now is, watch, I'll take this off. So on my hand, I can see chestnut. It's hard on the camera because you're not like, it's not fully, you can't fully see, but to me, there's some warm tone. If you wanted to make it more red, then you could add red to your mixture. So just give me 1 second. I'm just going to clean the area. So that was quick. I didn't even leave it full minute. If you want it to be more red, what I would do is I would add to my mixture already that I have, this mixture that I have, I would add red. Okay? So a pin size though. Add a drop or two oxidant. Mix it. So I'm leaving it at the corner. So I added the red in the corner there, but I'm going to leave it right on that corner because I want to do the other brow according to the same of this brow. It's a little, it's like being a hairstylist. So if you are a hairstylist, this is a plus for you. If you're not, if you're an esthetician, it's just a little practice needed. So let me do the other brow quickly as well to match it with what I had on the other side. But this side I'm going to remove quick because it was darker. See how quick it takes? So you have to be very careful. But now is where I'm going to add the red because it on the camera it doesn't show too much red for you guys. So I want to show a little bit of the redness. But very quick. See how quick I worked it? And I'm going to clean it. And what I can do now is add that, dry it, and add that red to warm it. Okay? So where I mixed the red on the corner of my, see how red it is? So that's why you have to be really careful with the red. It's really red. So where I mixed it, now the red tone takes longer to pick. So I'm going to put some of the red. Once again, it's going to be really hard to see on the camera because I could see it here. So I don't know if you can tell, but that already warmed it up a little. Oh, Lisa, you have to turn your hair a little bit this way. So that warmed it up a little bit. I'm going to just take water. And clean the area. So can you see that? So I was able to work it with my expertise, how I feel. I was able to work it. On your first time, this will be really hard to do. So what I suggest is practice on hair. So you see the warmth? Can you see the difference? That it's more warmer? So I'm going to fix the other side too. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, there's a lot of questions. Sorry, I'm not on my computer. Okay, there's a lot of questions. Okay, so let's see. Have we answered all of them? You know what? The pink, the hairstylist didn't put enough rose gold in her hair, so we can't see the rose gold as much. So that's why I had to change the color because it didn't match with the, so that's why I add a little bit warm. But you can see the difference between the two brows. So now what I have to do is I have to fix the other side of the brow to be warm like this. Okay, so that looks so much better because it matches some of her, I don't know if you can tell, but it matches some of her hair color, of her warmth. But sadly, we didn't get that rose gold pink from the stylist that we wanted. So that's why I had to switch. Originally, we wanted to do the rose gold. Okay, so let me just fix the other side. quickly, and then I can answer the questions. And that's why it's also really good to work one brow at a time when it's your first time doing this, because you don't want to have too much inconsistencies, okay? Because you already have the brown in there, you have to be really careful because we don't want to darken it again. It's a technique bleaching. So like I said, if you're a hairstylist, it's much easier for you. If you're an esthetician, you require a lot of practice, maybe demoing on friends, bleaching, getting the hang of bleaching first, right? So this one turned out much darker. Now here is I'll have to soften it with the tint remover, but here's something you need to know that's very important. If the brow turned out too dark and you wanted to bleach it, to lighten it, you cannot do that, because when you did the coloring on her brow, when you did the original color, you use the oxidant, right? When you go to bleach, what are you using again? You're using the oxidant. So what's going to happen is that the oxidant is going to go inside to that hair that you've colored it before with the color. It's going to go the bleach, and it's going to mix with the oxidant that was already deposited with the color, and all that's going to happen is that it's going to darken even more. So you can't correct a dark brow by bleaching it, and that's where I've gotten a lot of phone calls where it's been messed up, the brows, and they're darker. Okay. So what you would do, so say for example, this tone, I can see it up here with my lighting. This tone is darker. I would soften it the best I can I will soften it the best I can with the tint remover, and then I would add the red back on. Okay. But just red without brown, because what's happening right now is I had the brown mixture and it's darkening. So you have to be alert of that too. So I would just take the red, mix it on its own, because I want to match to this one. It's got a soft red hue to it. And look at that one's a little bit, if I turn it to the light, it's lighter, but it's not as light as I want to this side. Okay, so that correction I'll have to do it myself, because we are over time from it. But once again, do not bleach over this, because it will only darken the color. You can't lighten with a bleach previously darkened brows. Okay, so I know there were some questions. So Kayla said 1 week prior to microblading. Is that your favorite application brush for your tints? Yes, it's the wide brush. It's the Browista tool, but the wide brush, Caitlin. And yes, the brows are different colors, because what happened was that the left side turned darker. So I'm going to correct it, right? You have to be confident enough to correct it. Otherwise, your client will be upset. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to take see, now that the light switch a little bit, look at the right side. It's nice and warm. The right side is perfect, because look at her hair. It matches perfectly. But the left side has gone a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tint remover. I'm going to clean it up, soften it, and I'm going to apply just red. Okay. Chrissy, with some of my clients, I have been using the sensitive color. Any techniques to help me cover some of the gray hairs? No, with the sensitive, unfortunately, it's a different system. The sensitive line does not penetrate into the hair, so it's going to be hard to cover grays with it. Although it does stain, so maybe you can do a bleaching treatment a week or so before to soften the hair, and then deposit the sensitive. But remember, the sensitive is not penetrating into the hair. It's just coating the outer layer of the hair. And you can use sensitive to do beards as well. The sensitive has more staining effect. So just be very careful that when you use a sensitive on the beard, you're not using a very hard, strong tone, a hard color, like a darker brown, because it will be too, too painted on. So be very careful with the sensitive when you're doing that. For the laminate, when you tint afterwards, it's 3 minutes only. Yes, Melanie. You can do a bleach after lamination. Yes, you just follow the same procedures as you would do the bleaching. So do you want 5 minutes, you want 12 minutes, or do you want 20 minutes? Okay. You can bleach, Caitlin. You can bleach and laminate. On the same seating. You can do it in the same seating. I had to get confirmation from the manufacturer. I can get that information for anybody who wants that. Email me. I can get you the appropriate information from the manufacturer of bleaching and laminating in the same seating. Okay. Okay, Terry, you can see it. Yeah, when the lights switch a little bit, this side of her brow is perfect. Now I went a little bit darker again. Where she had it before, when the color changed, it's really hard to tell with the lighting, but it is warmer. Oh, this side. And this side is darker. So I'm going to soften it and add just the red, so you can tell the difference, right? So that's the warmer one is what I want on her. Sorry, Melanie, leaving what the same time? The bleaching? Yeah, the bleaching stays 5, 12, or 20 minutes, depending on the strip, the amount of color you want to strip. But I always say monitor it, because after lamination, the hair has been softened, right? It's been broken down. So the bleaching might take faster, just like the color takes faster. Because I asked them, do you change the timing? And they said no. So just keep in your mind that it could work faster, so you don't have to leave the bleach that much longer. Okay. Thank you, Terry. If you're shaping and wanting to add more brown look with no hair in a location, would you recommend the sensitive to tint the skin? Yes, you can use a sensitive to tint the skin to make it thicker. Yes, you can. By sure, you can. You can do the regular tinting at the bottom with the oxidant, and then on top tint with the sensitive. So you can do both. And then when the sensitive starts to fade away, the bottom of the brow still have the regular tinting, which is awesome. Okay? Because remember, the sensitive doesn't last that long because it's topical. Thank you. You're welcome, Lori. So hopefully I was able to answer everybody's questions. We did go over time. It was supposed to be an hour and a half, but we're at 2. But I love everybody's excitement and being here and staying here and asking all these questions. Once again, you can reach me with that email. Okay? Let me see if I can put the presentation back. Yes, you can reach. Can you guys see this? You can reach me at that email. Any questions you have, any requests you have, reach me out and I will help you the best I can. Okay, our webinars are limited, and we can't do in-house still with our second wave going on here in Ontario. So I would love to be doing these hands-on with people, but webinars will do. So I appreciate everybody. We'll get the translators at not the translators, sorry, the interpreters back on. I will switch the camera if you guys want to say farewell to me. Okay, perfect. So I appreciate everybody's time. We have the interpreters letting also their students know. And I appreciate this opportunity that we were able to do this because we want to reach everyone the best we can, right? So thank you, Julia and Sarah, for your help as well. And I thank everyone, and I hope everyone is, we're still dealing with our pandemic, right? With our virus and stuff, and some of us are going through second waves. We're shutting down again. Certain businesses are shutting down. So it's been really tough here. So I want to extend mine and CVON's team care, and I wish you guys all the best and support, and we hope that you're able to thrive still, your business to keep going during this hard time. We feel for everybody. We feel for all the small businesses, but that's why these webinars, we still try to do them to help all the businesses and be able to still be able to function, still be able to have our businesses going. Okay, so I wish everybody Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry that it took much longer, but you can have this recording. You can watch it on the regardlesseducation.com. And once again, any requests you have my email there, and I'm here to support you all. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.